Currently, the Vietnamese language is the mother tongue of some 99 million Vietnamese living in Vietnam and over 4 million living overseas. In this video, we are talking about features of Vietnamese language. Number 1. Vietnamese uses Latin alphabet and is a tone language. Each syllable is formed with at least one vowel accompanied by a tone which is meaningful and forms part of the syllable. At writing aspect, Vietnamese uses Latin alphabet and is totally different from some Asian languages with non-Latin scripts like Chinese, Korean and Japanese, etc. Number 2. Vietnamese words are short and easy to remember. Many words have only one syllable and compound words often have two syllables. Number 3. Vietnamese words never change forms in number, singular and plurality, gender, person, tense and comparison. This feature makes Vietnamese much more simple than other languages like English or French. Number 4. A letter has the same pronunciation in all Vietnamese words. In English, one letter can be pronounced in different words, but Vietnamese letters are consistent in all words. Number 5. Only 5 tenses in Vietnamese with no conjugation, and tense is optional. Vietnamese tenses are formed by a small number of particles placed before the verb. On the other way, Vietnamese use tense markers about time to indicate the tense instead of particles above. Vietnamese verbs are not conjugated. Some languages have hundreds of verb forms, which could take years to learn. Unlike in many other languages, in Vietnamese tenses are optional. There are 2 ways to convey tense information without using tense markers. The first sentence with time work, last week, is purely that took place in the past. In the second sentence, it is perfectly clear from the context that went indicates the past tense, though no tense marker and no time word is used in that sentence. Number 6. No article. Vietnamese also has no articles. Meanwhile, in many languages such as English, French, German and Portuguese, mastering the articles is difficult. Number 7. Only one possessive pronoun in Vietnamese. In English, you must use different possessive pronoun for persons, but in Vietnam, there is only one possessive pronoun in Vietnamese. Number 8. Vietnamese language has 6 tones that makes Vietnamese hard. Vietnamese is phonologically rich and complex. Vowels, consonants and tones combine to form nearly 7,000 syllables, some of which are quite similar and difficult to distinguish. In addition, some tones are difficult to discern in rapid speech. Number 9. Dialect often makes foreigners confused. There are 3 major dialects spoken within Vietnam: Hanoi dialect, Northern Vietnamese, Hue dialect, Central Vietnamese, and Saigon dialect, Southern Vietnamese. A foreigner who can communicate in Southern accent still confuse with Northern and Central Vietnamese. Number 10. Pronouns in Vietnamese often make foreigners difficult to understand. There are dozens of pronouns, and the correct use requires an understanding of cultural and social factors. Confusingly, the same word can refer to both the first and second person. Number 11. Vietnamese has a rich set of classifiers, and it is difficult to remember which classifiers are appropriate for which noun. For example, some common classifiers. In conclusion, despite of the challenges faced by learners of Vietnamese, especially in pronouncing and discerning the tones and the many difficult sounds, it can be said that Vietnamese is a relatively easy language to learn. Short words, a stable orthography, no genders, no plurals, no conjugation, no cases, no articles, and more. If you really want to master Vietnamese, register our Vietnamese Mastery Program. Vietnamese Mastery Program shall help you create Vietnamese zone in your brain. After the course, you can pronounce any Vietnamese word and remember the pronunciation in your whole life. Learner is ASLO guided and practiced words, conversations and songs in Vietnamese. This course is suitable for all level and age. Thank you for your watching, and do not forget to subscribe and like us to get knowledge and info in Vietnam.